Hey, YouTubers, good morning, Rob Muffet. Guys, today is Friday. We're doing Food Friday. You know, winter's coming. It's a good time to make soups and stews and chowder. Today we're going to make a real simple clam chowder. Most time, clam chowder, the best clam chowder has a lot of fat in it. It has bacon and cream. This doesn't have hardly any fat. If you're having to go on some sort of diet or restrictions of fat, this would be interesting chowder for you to look into because there's hardly any fat at all. The only fat is going to be in this chowder is going to come from this can of mushroom soup. There's like 5 grams per serving, so about 12.5 grams of fat total in the whole batch of soup. And it's really simple. You're going to use a can of, I like this, great value, surprisingly. They have good soup. The chicken and the cream of celery, cream of mushroom, cream of potato, they're all, and sometimes you get 50 cents a can. They're condensed. It makes a good base. Then the snows or bumblebee chopped clams or minced clams or whole clams. These are rather inexpensive. There's 6.5 ounces per can. I'm going to use a half of an onion, a couple medium-sized potatoes, just a pinch of turmeric for color, not for seasoning, a spoonful of lemon juice, and the secret here is we're going to be using powdered milk. You can use whatever powdered milk you prefer. I like the ones I get from the Mormons. It doesn't mix as well as the others, but it lasts a lot longer. It's non-fat. The cool thing about this is we can increase the creaminess by adding a larger amount of powdered milk, so it's more creamy. You can't do that with regular milk. Like I mix my 2% with my 100%, and now I'm drinking 102%. Nah. With powdered milk, you can, by adding more powder to the liquid, you can increase the flavor quite a bit. And that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get started. I'm going to chop these up into tiny little pieces, little cubes. Same thing with the onions, small pieces. And we'll get this on the road. Let's go ahead and add the water to the pot. 1 cup filtered water. Now the celery we minced, and we're going to put it in the pan first. It takes the longest to cook, although none of this is going to cook very long. Put it on high. Now we'll start cubing the potatoes. Okay, we cubed up our potatoes. We're going to put it in the pot with the celery and the 1 cup of water. And now we're going to put in a half of an onion that we minced after we chop it up. You could saute the onion and make it caramelize and have a little more flavor, but today we're just going to chop it up. Okay, we minced the onions, just a half of an onion, and with a small half too. We're not making onion soup, we're just using it for flavor. We don't want anybody to get a mouthful of onions. This is going to be clam chowder, not onion soup. It's hard for me not to put a lot of onions in something though. We set the timer going. It's for about 4 minutes. Now that the potatoes and onions and celery are boiling there, we're going to add the whole kit and the caboodle right into the pot. Get it all out. So we added a cup of water, filtered water, and a can of clams with the liquid. Let that boil some more. Okay, we've got 2 cups of filtered water in the measuring cup. We've got about a half a cup of powdered milk, and normally you use 3/4 of a cup to a quart of water. See if we can dissolve this as much as possible. Now we add the milk. We're going to add a little slow because it can, if the water is boiling, if it's too hot, it'll denature the protein, it'll curdle it. It'll go back in the solution, but this will take a while. Alrighty. Let's take a peek. We don't want these to turn to mush. Oop. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and add the milk. Now we want to add the mushroom soup. This is going to change colors just a little bit. It's going to get a little darker, and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of turmeric to it to make it, instead of white, a little more like a creamy yellow. In fact, let's do that now. Just a tiny bit. 2 shakes. So it's been 8 minutes since it started boiling. Put a teaspoon of lemon juice. A little bit of salt. Now we're going to let that simmer. Well, it's got to heat up some more to get to a simmer, but once it gets hot enough to simmer, we'll let it simmer for another 10 minutes. If it's too thin for you, you can add more potatoes and less water or less milk. You can also add cornstarch, taking it up. When I make this again, I'll add probably 1.5 cups of water instead of 2 cups. And maybe a tiny bit more potatoes. But it has a nice flavor. It's a little thin, but like I said, it's easy to add more clams, more potatoes. Give it another second. You can also add peas at the very end. If you add them early, it'll turn it a greenish color. And I didn't want that. But the peas make a nice flavor. And you can leave out the celery. Alright guys, I'll get some crackers. Got me a bowl of clam chowder. Hey YouTubers, I just realized that the splitter from the microphone was out of the camera, so I'm probably going to have a hiss the entire movie except for this part. I don't know, I'm just going to leave it. Lesson learned. Potatoes and celery, all the ingredients, very flavorful. And they don't overpower the clams. And it's not too thin, not too thick. I should have cooked the celery maybe a tiny bit longer. And I think use a little bit less water, like 1.5 cups. But excellent soup and flavor considering there's hardly any fat in here. Alright guys, hope you give this a shot. I put on new videos every week, been doing it for 13 years, got over 860 some videos. And a bunch of cool people I feature on my channel, no relation to me. And I have a bunch of playlists. And like I said, I put food videos on Friday, reviews of things on Sunday, and wild card on Wednesday, whatever I want. You never know what you're going to find. All right, guys, get another clam. All right, take care. See you out there. Good stuff.